Nigerians are expected to seek out the best. 2 words to describe the activity.
The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know.
CORETV News.
From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa.
Presidential
We break the news.
Women in Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CORETV News.
Welcome to CORETV Primetime
Our
News.
24-hour news station.
Thanks for staying with us. The program is still Core Astra, only on CORETV News. And so far we've been discussing the 2015 presidential elections between Jonathan and Buhari. Now,
maybe a lot would have happened to Mr. Chike Chudi when he comes up with a lipstick. That was what we're doing.
Now let's discuss politics.
Okay.
Serious mood now. Okay, Chike Chudi, you talked about coercion of delegates during the primaries. Did you see any naira or dollars exchange hands during the primaries?
Well, in this case, it would be inducement, really, and not coercion. Nigerian politics is heavily monetized, and if you remember, a lot of people have been talking about that as a very big vice in the politics of this country, where it would appear that both the people and the political elites have a wrong notion of politics. Do not forget that these parties that are being formed are funded by individuals, by a few elites and so on with, super money. And so they determine the direction of political parties. They also determine whatever ideological input that political party has. So the foundation of these parties are not rooted in the people. And that is what it should be. Why I say so is that it is people that contribute to the growth and development of political parties. They are the ones that fund their own political parties because it is their party, And but in Nigeria, the reverse is absolutely the case, where some big men, very big men with very deep pockets, fund political parties, and so the tendency is that the direction of these parties are determined by these people at the end of the day. So when we look at why political parties seem to have failed on their ability to deliver in terms of good governance and so on in the country and in terms of effective, position, you have to look at it in the context of the ownership. And I will have to use the word, carefully, the ownership of the political parties by money bags. Like I said, even the process leading to elections, for instance, is marked by money politics. People attend meetings, and by the time meetings are over, they are expected to be funded going back home by the politician and so on. So the politician spends so much money, believing that he has discharged his duties, responsibilities to the people. So when he gets to power, all he is focused on is how does he recoup this money and then the extra profit from the.
So whose fault really is this? Is it the people collecting the money or the politician who is not doing what he should?
It is everybody's. Yeah, it is everybody's fault. It is everybody's fault. But to a very large extent, we could say that it is more of the fault of the people, because they are the ones that are the receiving end. The people, the political elites who fund these parties and who go away with the resources of the country in the process are smiling to the banks, have assets all over the world and so on. So they have made a lot of gains from being engaged in the polity. The people are the ones who seem to have lost everything. The standard of living is poor, is low, and so many other economic disadvantages that they face in the process. And this is exactly what we have seen in these elections that took place. In some places, for instance, like the PDP, primary that took place in Lagos for governorship, I understand and I know because I happened to be there. Though I didn't see it, but one of the people who was involved in that process of giving out money, dollars, told me that $1,000 were being given to delegates that day.
That's at the primaries?
Yes.
PDP primaries?
PDP primaries.
Okay.
That $1,000 were being given to delegates. And don't forget that this is from one candidate, one aspirant. You have other people doing the same thing. So at the end of the day, a particular delegate might end up with about $3,000.
Okay.
For the presidential, the stakes are much higher. The resources are much more. So much more is spent for the presidential primaries. It will happen in the PDP. It will happen in the APC. The only reason why this time around it might not have happened in the PDP, to that extent, it might not have happened at all, is that there's only one sole candidate.
Okay.
And so who are you going to give? Any delegate that comes there has an obligation, a duty to vote. So whatever money he's going to be given will be for logistic purposes and maybe a little bit of change in his pocket. But where you have effective opposition, effective competition and so on, the tendency is that the price per delegate is going to rise, and he will end up making money from every single person, because somebody gives him money, he promises him he's going to vote for him. Another person comes, gives him more, he promises I'm going to vote for him.
Well, is the credibility, if you have to look at the credibility of this exercise, is it not questionable when money is involved, especially whether it's in PDP or in APC or any other political party?
No,
is it not questionable?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. The reality is that we have a situation at hand in Nigeria right now. I think that there is, a law on, party financing.
Okay.
At the federal level. Too many people do not know that there is a law that was passed for that purpose. Specifying, how much and in what circumstances money can be spent. You understand, during political, party campaigns and the rest, and so on. Just as you have in the United States and so on, there's a cap that is put in place, and that the essence of that is to ensure that, people who might have very negative interest in the politics of this country, will not be able to exercise that when the time comes and their candidate or their person emerges as president.
But don't you think it's high time INEC visits that part, that segment of the electoral law, talking about financing?
Yeah, first of all, you see, INEC is operating in a society, in the context of a society that is not working well, where the culture of impunity has become very dominant and consistent in this country, where people can do virtually anything and get away with it. INEC is supposed to be the policeman of the electoral process. INEC lacks certain powers to, arrest people and prosecute these people, take them to court and the rest. There are so many issues wrong with the process.
Okay.
The criminal justice system in this country is not working. That means, the engagement of the Nigerian police, in the process sometimes might not be at the very best. You take these people to court, you might not get the kind of response you want from our courts and the rest. So ultimately, at the end of the day, INEC is hamstrung.
Okay.
But do not also forget that INEC, those who are in INEC are people from us. So they themselves have also been tainted, a lot of them, by what is going on in the polity. So sometimes it's not about, let's get the right things done. Okay. It's also about the advantages that certain people who should get things done gain by ensuring that these things, are not done. So money continues to play a dominant role in politics. And like you said, under normal circumstances, it should, it should be something that will seem to undermine the democratic process. If people are no longer freely exercising their process, their franchise, if you coerce people, you force people to a particular line, you have interfered with that process, with the freedom of choice.
Okay.
If you now induce people in order to bring about a particular reaction, you have also acted in a negative way, by somehow denying people the franchise to vote according to their conscience, because that ultimately should be the basis for elections: voting according to your conscience, voting according to your belief, and so on.
Yes, you talked about, when you were talking, you talked about INEC being handicapped to an extent, especially where you said the system itself is wrong. The thing is, a lot of time we hear Nigeria is a sick country, Nigeria needs to grow, Nigeria needs to overcome something. But the question is, when are we going to overcome all of this? When do we have that revolution that would make this country start doing the right thing? 2015 can be a good time to start that?
I am not a clairvoyant. I am not a visionary, so I cannot see these things. Okay. But I share in your worries, and I share also in your frustration. The reality is that I want to get this country going. The reality is that we cannot continue like this as a nation. And the reality is that if we continue to move along this path, the disaster waits for us. So we want a change. And I agree that the democratic process is one fine way, better way of bringing about that change. I mean, there are about 3-4 ways of having changing government. One could be military coup, through military coup. That is no longer acceptable. It's not in fashion anymore. Another one could be through social revolution. The people themselves getting up, deciding that they want to throw away the chain that is around their neck. That can be acceptable in the sense that if it is something that is rooted in the people and motivated by the people, because the people themselves can set aside the constitution of a country. And I think it was the US judge, John Marshall, who said it. He said the constitution was a product of the people. It was made by the people. It can be set aside by the people because it lives and exists. It exists on the will of the people. So the day the people decide that they no longer want this constitution, the people can change this constitution. Same thing with any government, any political dispensation that is in place, provided that it is a very popular action of the people. Look at what happened, for instance, in Burkina Faso. By the time the people had gotten tired of Blaise Compaoré, the people hit the streets in their hundreds of thousands. Now, Blaise Compaoré had an option. Mow these people down with guns and so on. But at that level, when you see that kind of crowd...
Okay, let's quickly pick up this call. Tochukwu calling from Anambra. Hello.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
I want to share my own perspective.
Okay,
Ahead of 2016, Nigerians want to see a situation whereby we tackle issues based on issues and not sentiments and propaganda. At the same time, I want to wish the All Progressive Congress, I want to wish them a happy birthday. Somehow, they gave birth to their presidential candidate, the person of GMB, and we are proud of him based on his incident. So we want to see a situation whereby we engage our politicians on issues, their antecedents, what they have done before, not what they will do, because they don't have the intention of doing those things. They say they will do, doing politicking. They just mount it. I rather prefer we tackle them on what they have done before that is verifiable. Not I have done in theory, but I have done that is verifiable by everybody. And we should also see the issue of corruption, which always show its ugly head as everybody's business to tackle. I don't like a situation whereby we mount it and dump it on the door of a government. Take, for instance, if over there at the establishment is steal money, it is not the government that stole the money, it is you. So the corruption has become a kind of acceptable norm in the society, which everybody must tackle.
Okay.
Everybody must
thank you very much,
so
Tochukwu. We have to let you go now.
Tackle the issue of corruption as from next
We have to let you go now. I think you've made a point.
Who has a clear vision on how to tackle corruption.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tochukwu, for calling from Anambra there.
Yeah, let's quickly get back to this issue of, candidate for 2015 election between APC and PDP. President Jonathan is standing as a sole candidate of the PDP, and Buhari has emerged. Between Buhari and Jonathan, who do you think is a better candidate for 2015? With due regards for other political parties who are yet to produce their own candidates.
Yeah, even if I feel that one is better than the other, I will not say.
But let's analyze. Let's analyze them.
Exactly.
Of course, the antecedent of Buhari, and of course, the antecedent of Jonathan.
I agree. Of course, you know that it is the people's choice at the end of the day, because, as it is said, one man's meat is another man's poison. So I could say, look, I think this person is better. Other people would agree.
Okay.
But I think you're also right that you have a way of, having an idea about who could be the better person.
Okay.
I agree with Tochukwu when he talked about the issue-based politics and not false propaganda and antecedents and so on. But you see, I was saying somewhere else yesterday that any incumbent, is in the most powerful position to go back to power, and he's also in the weakest position when it comes to retaining power.
Why did you say that?
Yeah, and the reason is this. He has what the opposition what his opponent does not have and cannot have. He has the power of incumbency, with which he can use to showcase his result, while he's been in government. He can actually say, look, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. This is the reason why the people have no choice than to bring me back, because I have given them a better life, and they have seen I've given them a better life, and so on. There is no opposition, no rival, candidate that has that opportunity, that unique opportunity to do this. And so it's his greatest strength, but it's also his greatest weakness. If he has not done anything verifiable throughout his period of being in government, he cannot, say the same thing to the people. I have made your life better. I have done this. I have done this. I have done this. Therefore, vote put me back to power. And for as long as he's not able to show a very good report card, the opposition, his rival, now has, is strengthened by the incompetence and by the inability of the incumbent to perform in power.
Well, let's look at president right now. Even before he became president, we all know where he was coming from. He was one time deputy governor of a Bayelsa state, and then he became the governor. And then from there he was picked as a running mate to the later President Yaradua. And then eventually Yaradua happened to, passed away, let me put it that way. And then he became the president automatically. And then he contested, and then he won. Everyone is saying he's lucky, or most political analysts will tag him as a luckiest person in Nigerian politics. Do you think in 2015 he might be twice as lucky?
Well, that depends again, like I was saying, that depends on what he's been able to do all this period, all this time that he has been in power. There are people who will tell you that his government has been that of failure, that he's not been able to achieve much.
Okay, let's quickly pick up this call, Achike. Salisu calling from Abuja. Hello, Salisu.
Okay, my name is Salisu from Abuja.
Yeah, go ahead and make your point quickly.
So we have somebody who can deliver this country. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who is the person?
Are you hearing me? Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, because this country is not promotion, execution, and implementation. Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, go ahead, Salisu.
Buhari is looking for this president for so long time, Adi. We have to give him time. Look to see what he can do. This is my own contribution.
Thank you very much for calling.
Okay. Mr. Salisu is saying give Buhari time.
Give it to Buhari. Yeah, I think that's what
Buhari time to actually perform. What do you think?
Well, I think this thing tallies with what I've been saying, that people have assessed this government in the past how many years now in a position to say we are satisfied with what he has done, or they are in a position to say no, we cannot continue along this path.
Okay.
You understand?
So the power, what you're saying is that the power lies with the people.
Of course the power lies with the people. But I think that if you ask me, if I have to go by the president's report card, it's not a very good, mark he has scored. In terms of security, in terms of some social issues, in terms of power, energy, they have privatized in line with his formation agenda, but there is no extra megawatt of electricity being generated and so on. And there's so many other issues in the country. Economic situation has not been made better. And so on that basis alone, you could say that he's in trouble. But again, there are other things that you also have to consider. There are those who feel that he has good intention. I don't know why in Nigeria good intention is as important as actually doing the job. Because for a very long time when Obasanjo was in power, for about 4, 5 years, 6 years, people kept on telling us that he has good intention. Only those around him are bad, but he's a good person and so on. Until people change their minds about him much later. So these are some of the issues. I think that, on the basis of performance alone, if you're going to assess the government based on performance alone, that the president should be having sleepless nights.
Okay, looking at precedents, looking at what they've done in the past, what can you say about the candidature of Buhari?
Buhari He's a disciplined person.
Just before you answer that question, Ibrahim calling from Kaduna. Hello, Ibrahim. Yeah, hello. Go ahead and make your contribution quickly.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
My question is, my contribution is this. Yes, I think 15 years or 16 years of PDP. We need just a change, and let's see what the GMD can do. GMD can do.
Go ahead.
Chairman, and so on and so forth. If a president will come on board and tell the whole nation, I don't have money, but I'm ready to sacrifice, let's have another Mandela in Nigeria.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sure probably he's made his point. Thank you very much for... Yeah, go back to the question.
Call is changed now. You were talking about the precedence of General Buhari.
Yeah, but I think there was something he said that touched me. I think all the speakers at the primary were quite good. You know, but there was something Buhari said that Ibrahim, this last caller, also mentioned. He said in his speech at the time, he said, I do not have dollar and naira to give you. You know, and if it had been any other politician, it would have been seen as a vice, as a negative, that you don't have money to give us. But for Buhari, it was a virtue. And that is because for a very long time, he has been seen as a man with integrity. He said, I do not have companies. I do not have houses everywhere, something to that effect. And we have been told that he does not have a house, even in Abuja, the federal capital, where even councillors are jostling to have houses, and some of them do have houses, local government chairmen and the rest. And people are asking, what manner of man is this? And I think integrity is a very essential ingredient of Nigerian politics. Buhari is seen to be a man that has integrity. He has suffered all of these years because he did not have the kind of money that others, you know, have.
Okay.
And that was a major problem for him, but it's also a strength, because people are now using it as a basis to assess him. A man of integrity is a man that we need. But there's also the other deficit, and that is that people are saying, but Buhari is not so young anymore. He's 73 years old. Can we not go for somebody that is younger? So it's a minus, but he has other positives also. You know, the fact that he had not been found wanting in government. He had been head of state, he had been military administrator in 2 states, he has been PTF chairman, and so on and so forth, Minister of Petroleum, and the rest and the rest. And he built a refinery. Our governments tell us they cannot build a refinery. It's difficult, if not impossible. But Buhari built the biggest refinery in Nigeria within 9 months when he was Minister of Petroleum and the rest. So these are some virtues that he has. There's also the other aspect that is also a deficit, the perception that Buhari, you know, is a religious fundamentalist. And so that has refused to go away. Okay. And I expect his PR people to work on it seriously. Because if you ask me, I have not seen anything in his profile that shows him to be one.
Okay. We have a call from Sunday from Abuja. Sunday, go ahead with your views.
Hello, Sunday, go ahead. Yeah, hello.
Calling from Abuja. What I want to say is this. We know Buhari, that Buhari is a good man. But saying that PDP have not done anything by the test is not true. All of us know what is going on before. And now, if we can boast of even electricity, all what I'm saying is that let's give the current president, chance and finish what he has started. Instead of Buhari, the age is not decide again. All what we want to say that we need a new Nigeria. He has ruled us before. He has been the president of this country before. Let him have people that he can support. Not him. You need to have somebody that he will support that can go ahead. After him now, what do he do? Who do he, as person he has not taught in this politics? Please, let's forget about sentiment and let's say the truth. We know the truth and only
I think he has made his point there. Thank you.
We know the insurgency in the country. He from the north. He's supposed to have done something before now.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think Sunday has made his point. Do you have anything to say?
Well, I think Sunday is wrong when he said that I said that the president has not done anything. I never said anything like that. But again, you look at and I was also looking at people's perception of the president. The reality is that Sunday is saying that we have light, and so where do we have light? Maybe he has light in his own area. What quantum of what megawatt of electricity is being supplied today? Where what we have is the Abacha era of 2,500 to 3,500 megawatts of electricity. And it's not Jonathan's fault alone. Other past presidents have contributed to that. Obasanjo spent so much. The president has continued to spend so much. He has privatized and so on. And even as far as part of the privatization, they have continued to put money, public money, federal government money, into companies or assets that are already privatized, that already are supposed to belong to private people and so on. That is not right by any stretch of the imagination and so on. So the president has to do much more. The reality is that if you ask me to score the president, I will not score him above, average. I will not, on the basis of what I see on ground today. He might have the best of intentions, but the reality is that he has not been able to translate these intentions to reality. You understand? For instance, the issue of corruption, which has been the bane of this country. What has the president done about corruption? I disagree with the president when he said, I think recently I read in the past, that he has fought corruption more than any other leader in this country. They have not fought corruption in Nigeria. Whether Obasanjo, whether the president or whoever it is, they have not fought corruption in Nigeria.
Okay, let's quickly pick up this call. Hello, Abubakar calling from Kwara. Go ahead and give us your contribution. Make your contribution now, Abubakar. Hello?
Okay, we lost Abubakar there.
Yeah, but let's look at it. I know it's going to be really tough. Few callers who have called now, some of them are giving it, assessing Buhari on what he has done in the past, and some of them are assessing the current, administration now. What do you see play out in 2015 presidential election or the general election?
It's going to be a very, very tough election. It's going to be keenly contested. It also has the potentials for division of this country. Maybe not physical division, but the reality is that the political elites in Nigeria across the divide, whether PDP, APC and so on, have not really done so much to bring this country together. There has been so much religious division along religious lines in Nigeria, where even revered religious institutions are also taking part in the politics of the country. This is unhealthy for the polity, and I see a lot of people, going out there to vote on the basis of sentiment, not on the basis of what they feel, they should be voting for. It was also what was responsible for the outcome of 2011 election also. People will vote along primordial cleavages.
Let's quickly pick up this call. Aminu calling from Abuja. Hello, Aminu. Go ahead and make your contribution on Call Digest Extra. Hello?
Aminu.
Yes, some of the callers are about Buhari that, like the last caller was saying that he needs young man, he needs change. Change does not come with any person. Change comes with the policy of the political party. No matter how old a candidate is, he can change the system. It is only from policy of the political party, the manifesto of the political party, which we know that Buhari is competent enough to do it, irrespective of his age. Age does not matter in whatever political journey we are making. And the only thing we need in this country now is change. And we are going to get it from Buhari by the grace of God, inshallah. We are going to get it. And nobody is going to stop Buhari. The issue now is of significant, there are going to be a lot of changes within the country.
Thank you very much. But let me quickly say this, because of other callers who might be watching and they want to still call. This is not a campaign platform for anybody, and the guests as well. We're analyzing based on the two candidates who are going to be facing themselves in the presidential election. So we're not campaigning for anybody and we're not condemning anybody on this platform.
Because it looks like there are a lot of Buhari supporters calling today.
No, you see,
analyzing.
the reality is that the people must, have to express their views.
Exactly.
They can tell you, once you open the platform, you make it open, they can tell you, they are free to say, look, I think a Buhari presidency is better, and I think a continuation of Jonathan's presidency is better. You understand? So I think that is, but for the editorial policy of CORETV is that of objectivity and so on, and I think that has been maintained along this path. But you cannot, for instance, express any sentiment in favor of any of this, but the people can, and you can't stop them from doing that.
Okay, let's also talk to
Mohammed from Abuja.
Hello, Adamu Mohammed. Go ahead and make your contribution.
I don't have anything to say apart from appreciating the analyst. He's doing very wonderfully well. About 2015 election, the choices for Nigeria to make. We have seen Buhari, we know Buhari very well. Thank God he has contested election for about 4 times. We know him very well. Jonathan has been one of the luckiest politicians in this country. He has been a deputy governor, a vice president, an acting president, and a substantive president. And he has been there for about 5-6 months. Nigeria knows what to do, but I must commend the analysts for doing very, very professionally well. God bless him.
At least you have someone who is commending you. Okay, but let's quickly look at what exactly, in the past elections we've witnessed from 1999 till now, what exactly we've not gotten right that we need to get right in 2015 general elections?
Nigerians are changing, Nigerians are evolving. You might not see it, you might not notice it, but believe me, it is there, it is subtle. And that is, the danger that the politicians are getting themselves into a very dangerous situation by not realizing that the average Nigerian is changing, and that change is positive. We still have our primordial cleavages and sentiments and so on, but by and by that change is positive. Nigerians are getting smarter, they're getting sharper, and they are showing actually commitment to the country in spite of the sentiments that seem to be working against us as a people. So as we change, as the mindset of Nigerians change, so also in a way with the quality also change. And you can see that Nigerians are putting ever greater pressure on the politicians. Okay. They are shouting at them when they are not doing well. They are doing all kinds of things that puts them under pressure. And it's that pressure that makes them do even the little that they are doing. But we must never be satisfied. Even when they have built 50 roads out of 100 roads, we must keep on shouting that there are still 50 roads that need to be built, and so on. Whatever it is they have achieved, we must never show satisfaction in what they have done. No. After all, it is not their money. It is our money. You understand? This era of you open a road and then everybody has to come and celebrate with the governor and congratulate the governor and so on. For what? If the governor had used his personal money to give a road to a community, then there is greater reason to rejoice with the man and to congratulate him. But if he has used the people's money to do the people's job, then he has not done anything fantastic. It is what he's supposed to do. You can see Obama, what is going on with him. In how many years the man is as old as any other person. It's old because it's working. Our politicians look sleek and elegant at every particular point in time, meaning that they don't have gray hairs. They don't worry about the problems of the nation. You understand? As long as they can line their pockets and so on, and that must change. And that has to be, that change must come from the people. We must continue to put them under pressure. It's part of the poverty and the ignorance and illiteracy. We must continue to put them under pressure.
Well, I think we really need to, end it here now, and then we'll get back to. Thank you very much, Achiki Achude. He's a public affairs analyst. Thank you for coming.
It's been wonderful. Thank you.
Extra.
As we go, we'll just leave you
just
with
take
Soccer
a break. Let's quickly
Planet.
take a break now.
Soccer Planet.
Okay, is it Soccer Planet?
Yes, Soccer Planet.
Oh, Soccer
it's
Planet.
Entertainment. It's called Astra. So let's have Soccer Planet.
Okay, all right.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CORETV News.
You can now watch CORETV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CORETV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CORETV, leave a space, then news. CORETV News, a 24-hour news station.
I go Ghana last month. When I go there, if you see what I see there, no be smarting. As an MC, I say, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Now I go backstage. I ask for the guy name. They tell me bombastic. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Africa, Nigeria, put your hands together for bombastic. When the guy they come, they don't they play music. Bam, 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 bam. Now the guy collect mic. The guy they dance. Everybody they dance. The guy they dance. Now the guy face me, look me. Are they happy? Say this guy go tear. Now the guy do. For where the guy they shout to, now me I can't dance, I can't stop. Now I look the guy. I said, but this one I deaf and dumb. When the guy sees her, don't stop. Now the guy verse. I know I said that. Now the guy go find bottle, bust the bottle. Now he face me. Oh, but I see when me start begin to dance. Now I face the crowd. I say, but oh boy, let me see what you know. I did tell you. Now, if you notice, the Hausa people, they don't agree to put them for home video game because they are wild too much. Why? When they're there in front of camera, we have different way of talk. Cut, short, action, pause, don't move. When they put this Hausa man, the man no gree say na mumu. Now the guy stand for front of camera. Now the director can shout, are we ready? Yes, everybody they can shout. Action! See where the aboki draw dagger. Hey, are they Chris? You action your papa, you action your mama. Who are the action for here? Now the guy come holler. What is wrong with this man? In fact, Aboki cut. Aboki say, "Kai, say me get what?" Aboki cut. Me get what? Aboki cut. Now somebody can begin to cut camera, cut everybody. Thank you very much.
You didn't hear that we lost a very important man in this country, Dagrin.
Hey, wonder, I know Zagirin, oh. Zagirin, now that's madam, that woman will sing, whoa, when a kilomenta. You're a
fool. You're a fool.
You are a very stupid man, oh. Huh?
He doesn't know Dagrin, and he's shouting, I know Dagrin.
Dagrin. Dagrin is my neighbor's son. It's not that one that sing, one love. Keep us together. What agree?
Nah, you're a bigger fool. You're a bigger fool. The man Dagrin, you know a good Dagrin. Dagrin is that guy that cleared my container on the high sea last 2 weeks.
That guy that we came to look for, he never was home. Where's that go? Hey, come here. As a case, when you come outside the waka.
Now we came to look for you and you are taking off.
Where is I go? One sonunku. Look at this man. He carries something for Isaac. Come and stay here. Why is it that when you carry friend, you come your house, you carry food, you go one Adam. When I bring the food, everybody go shop the food for. When I drop your food here, everybody has a shop food. Everybody
now you can see what is happening.
What's in with that? Well, hey, come on. You don't talk and say anybody who I know carry spoon, I know there's suppers of food. Because you talk, we say, well, let's tell us, virus I full Nigeria. So when I use your hand shop, now virus as a contact. So it be like a radiator. Why be like saying everybody in a conductor? It can't be like saying people will be contractor.
Stop the ages, you mean if we don't bring spoon here, we are not going to eat from
your wife, you know, get spoon, I know the shop.
No problem, you know, we just bring out the, come, are you here with anything?
Well, I tell you, I no get spoon, but make I say, it be like say I carry something come up for house. This things as a cup, as a come. Well, I tell you, make as I know they look under me, what say I did on me as a pass away. Spoon as I don't come out. Yo, as I no get spoon?
Sule.
Anybody why I don't get spoon as I know they show. Make eyes go.
Hey! Nah, then this Mala, man. Nah, this guy is the bad.
Hey! God, this spoon is too big.
This thing is too big now. Now you can't take this thing to eat this small rice. So if you finish this thing, what are we going to eat now? Look at what this aboki is carrying up and down. Weapon.
My own is even smaller than this one, though. It's
I'm going to whip your own now.
Make eyes and see your own. When they talk, say I get spoon, me I get some goes to.
Look at what this idiot brought out just to eat this small rice. Now you're a wicked man.
As a caress? What's the eyes and see? Come back, come on.
Now, Baba Ijebu, bring it out. Let us see. Hey!
One don't borrow. One. Hey, one. I take it easy. One.
Just to eat this small thing. Now you're a wicked man.
One. Well, let's tell you, is it completable?
You're a wicked man. This thing is too big.
Is there anything wrong with this spoon? What is all this thing you're talking about?
No, this thing is too big. This thing is too big. How would you just say you're a wicked man?
Seems you're
very wicked. Yoruba people are wicked. They are wicked. My own spoon is smaller than this two thing.
Okay.
Well, make I see your spoon.
Yeah, bring your own out. Bring your own out. Let us see your spoon.
Let us see your spoon. If you know, say I carry spoon as I shop this right now.
Yeah.
One now.
Joe.
What is the habit? As a caress? This one is a carry. As a caress? What is the what?
Now what did I do? I didn't do anything. This is business. Now this is business.
You have killed this man, no? Hey. Well, hey. Okay, wake up, oh. Wake up, oh.
Hey.
Sorry, oh. Yeah.
For you there, it wasn't supposed to be. Did we say soccer planning while we're taking a break?
Yeah, I think we said that.
It was supposed to be a teaser to make viewers laugh.
Yeah, and I hope they really enjoyed the teaser.
Well, thank you very much. That's how much we can go today on Call That Just Extra. I am Frank Omalape.
And I am Omotayo Alo. Thanks for staying with us.
Enjoy the rest of the week.
You can now watch CORETV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CORETV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CORETV, leave a space, then news. CORETV News, a 24-hour news station.